Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla taking on Amazon, more new Tesla price cuts, Cybertrucks pumping out of Giga Texas, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, there have been even more sightings of the Project Highland Model 3 as it nears the official start of production. The last updates we saw included new fabric, LEDs, and an additional speaker on the inside of the door, as well as an expanded door pocket. It also got an updated dash, integrating the front screen into the dash a bit more as far as we can tell. It's rumored that production of the current Model 3 has already ended, so production of the Highland Model 3 should be starting up any day now. Another rumor has said Giga Shanghai is alternating their production between the two models before discontinuing the current Model 3. We haven't heard officially from Tesla yet when this switch will happen, but there have been a few more leaks. Dominic posted even more photos of the interior, saying, "While many say that the new fabric on the updated Model 3 door panels looks less premium than the previous Alcantara-like material, I really like the looks of it. The door looks less busy and more like a flowing design now. I personally think this material does look a little cleaner, but other than that, and the new speaker, it's not all that different. Overall, the changes we've seen should bring a more simplified production for Tesla, which translates to a lower price. The leaks we've seen so far have been small and out of context, but hopefully when we see the whole vehicle uncovered, it'll be a noticeable improvement over the current Model 3. I expect that full unveiling to be very soon, and that'll be very exciting to see. Next up today, there have been several sightings of the Cybertruck in transport. This release candidate was spotted in an enclosed trailer that it barely fits in. You can see just how massive its tires are here, seeming to be the majority of the truck. It was spotted at Petrol Lounge in Austin, Texas, which is a vehicle storage facility. Trigger, who posted these photos on Instagram, first thought it was a refrigerator with its flat steel rear end. They were also able to get close-ups of the front, although this massive truck was a little too cramped to see much of in this space. Here you can see the short front we're used to, home of the small frunk that's been going around. We can also see that it's equipped with 35-inch tires on 20-inch rims. They also have 6 lug nuts instead of 5. These two things together could mean this truck will ship with a higher weight-bearing capacity than we thought. I'm wondering if Tesla is testing out different specs of this truck with higher towing capacities. S.E. Robinson Jr. also got a look and took this walk around. What I'm noticing is that the build quality of this truck is looking pretty good. I don't see any panel gaps, and even though it looks like it's been driven pretty hard, this steel paneling has held up. It's definitely been out testing already and could definitely be one we've seen photos of, but it's cool to see it up close. Then a Cybertruck was spotted being towed by a semi again, but this time by a Tesla semi. S.E. Robinson Jr. took this video of the pair, along with another semi behind them. The Cybertruck is missing trim pieces on its wheel wells and rear light bar, and it appears to be covered in dirt and scuffs just like the one spotted in Austin, suggesting it's been through rigorous testing as well. It's unclear if these pieces fell off during testing or if they were intentionally left off for some reason. Then a Cybertruck was found reportedly broken down on the side of the road. This one was covered up, suggesting Tesla actually didn't want this one to be seen. Usually when we spot the Cybertruck on the road, its camouflage just draws more attention to it, like a giant flashing billboard, but it makes sense why Tesla wouldn't want people to notice it if it has an issue. It was spotted next to the Interstate 280 El Monte exit in Los Altos Hills, and reportedly a Tesla employee was working under the hood. By the time this spotter was able to turn around and pull behind it, the employee had reportedly covered the Cybertruck and left. It's possible from these context clues that the truck is broken down and Tesla needed to come pick it up, but it's strange that it was left alone. In this photo, we can see under the covering, and the camouflage here means this is likely a newer prototype, and could even be a release candidate. This isn't bad news though. It breaking down is likely a sign of Tesla pushing this truck to its absolute limits so they can make sure they've caught any possible issues before it rolls out to customers. The more issues they find now, the fewer it'll have after it's delivered. We also got a closer look at the Cybertruck's structural battery pack and suspension. According to an ex-suspension engineer, what we're seeing here is an anti-roll bar that isn't using a hydraulic system. His conclusion was that overall, I'm surprised by the simplicity of the system. When there's simplicity, there's generally robustness too. Over at Giga Texas, a whole group of Cybertrucks was spotted outside in the outbound transportation lot. First, a group of 6 trucks was spotted by Ezekiel, but it appears to be growing. Joe Tegtmeyer captured new drone shots, showing 9 prototypes as well as a few more inside the factory. From this shot, we can see the shallow front trunk, but it looks like it's pretty long, so it should still have decently large storage space. I think it looks proportionally small, but we have to remember that this truck is very large, so this is actually going to be a pretty wide space. The prototypes outside side were also spotted by this Reddit user. These appear to be a whole test batch, which suggests Tesla is getting very close to official production. Tesla hasn't announced final pricing and specs yet, and they seem to still be on track for a delivery event by the end of September. Next up today, Tesla has implemented a new price cut for the Model Y and Model 3, this time over in China. After the price war earlier this year, Tesla seemed to have stopped decreasing prices across the board since May, at least to the extent that they had been. Now they're cutting the price of the Model Y in China by $1,900 USD. The Tesla Model Y long range decreased from 313,900 won, or around 43,240 US dollars, to 299,900 won, or about 41,312 US dollars. The Model Y Performance decreased from about 50,128 US dollars to about 48,200 US dollars. For the Model 3, though, they're taking a more indirect approach, offering an insurance incentive rather than just decreasing the price of the vehicle. The configurator now says, quote, if you place an order for the current Model 3 rear-wheel drive version and complete the delivery within the time limit, you can enjoy an insurance subsidy of 8,000 won. That's about 1,100 US dollars. The time limit they mention is the end of September, which is right around where we expect the new Project Highland Model 3 to surface. An insurance subsidy seems like an odd choice if their goal is to sell all of their current Model 3s in China before the refresh is released. But having an insurance incentive like this is a little bit confusing. Usually when we look at Tesla price decreases in one market, we look into another market to see when it will arrive. But I wouldn't expect this incentive to extend to the US until Tesla is ready to release the Highland Model 3 here. Even then, Tesla insurance seems to be pretty popular among Tesla owners in the US, so that may not be the incentive they decide to push here at all. As for the Model Y, I don't see the price decreasing in the US anytime soon either. We're not expecting a refresh for that car for quite a while, probably in 2024, and it's only becoming more popular by the day here. Next up today, some pretty big news for Tesla's business outside of making vehicles. Tesla has built a new first-of-its-kind data center, and they are hiring staff for it. On top of that, they are, quote, snapping up some existing data centers. Data centers have become a massive market across the board, and some of the biggest companies in the world participate in it. Amazon has Amazon Web Services, Microsoft has Microsoft Azure, Google has Google Cloud Platform, and Meta or Facebook has Meta Platforms. This is a business worth over $250 billion, and it appears that Tesla is joining in on this effort. In a new job posting for Senior Engineering Program Manager, Data Center, Tesla says, quote, this role will lead the end-to-end design and engineering of Tesla's first-of-its-kind data centers and will be one of the key members of the factory engineering team. As Tesla pushes further and further into data processing, particularly in their own efforts of neural networks to provide full self-driving, it appears they're once again expanding vertically. They also have various expanding services like premium connectivity, cloud-based profiles, and more planned for the future. Then for energy, they have a lot of data that goes into AutoBidder and Power Hub. So first, it makes sense for them to vertically expand here for their own uses, but long-term, they could very much expand into something like Tesla Web Services. We know that Elon Musk considers Tesla to be a collection of many startups, and this could be their next one. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, made up 16% of Amazon's total revenue in Q3 of 2022, so it could be a huge untapped market for Tesla to enter. Long term, it could be another reason why calling Tesla a car maker is like calling Amazon a bookseller. This is just the start of this project, so it will likely be some time before we see it build up, but it could be huge long term. Next up today, Tesla has licensed a new manufacturer to produce their NACS connector. Volex is a large UK-based power equipment manufacturer that makes a wide variety of products from radiation oncology treatments, industrial lasers, right through to electric vehicles for the 21st century. Plenty of automakers have accepted NACS to be the next standard, with Ford, GM, Rivian, and others announcing they would be including it in their vehicles starting in 2025. Some, however, are skeptical of this tech because it's Tesla's. In order to ease those concerns, Tesla has taken steps to distance themselves from it, like hiring the SAE to standardize the connector. Now Tesla has released the license for Volex to build it. The company said in a press release, quote, Volex, the specialist integrated manufacturer of critical power and data transmission products, is pleased to announce it is a licensed partner of Tesla for the North American charging standard EV charging system. Volex is a selected global manufacturer of the authentic NACS coupler and is stocked and ready to immediately supply automotive OEMs and charging infrastructure suppliers. The executive chairman at Volex added, as a selected supplier of the NACS coupler, this further validates that Volex continues to be the trusted manufacturing partner of Tesla's charging system technology to the world's leading EV manufacturing companies and suppliers who utilize the NACS EV charging system. It does seem pretty quick that we're just now hearing about this partnership and they're saying they're already entering production on this charger. There must have been some happenings behind the scenes that Tesla has been working on discreetly. Beyond that, it appears Tesla will be supplying adapters to the other automakers that have agreed to adopt it. With this new manufacturer that's not Tesla, we may soon see more automakers announce that they'll be adopting this charger soon, since it's not exclusively made by Tesla. Next up today, Tesla is seeking nearly $100 million in funding for a semi-charging route from Texas to California. That would include 9 charging stations for their all-electric semi-trucks and electric semis from other brands. Each station would have 8 mega-charging stalls and 4 chargers for competing all-electric Class 8 trucks. Emails sent by Tesla executives to the Texas Department of Transportation between May and early July provide even more details. Tesla may reportedly qualify for grants that would be a part of the bipartisan infrastructure program. The purpose of that program, launched by the Biden administration, is to help build more EV charging stations for both passenger and commercial vehicles. In anticipation of those grants, Tesla has requested that Texan officials support the charging corridor that they're planning for. The route goes from Fremont, California, where Tesla, of course, has a production facility, to Laredo, Texas, which is right on the border with Mexico. Conveniently, Laredo borders the state of Nuevo León, Mexico, where Tesla is opening a new factory. They've also already established a dedicated lane for themselves at the border that will simplify logistics between the two countries. The proposed stations in California would be in Fremont, Bakersfield, Compton, and Indio. There would be 2 in Arizona, in Phoenix and San Simon, and then 3 in Texas, in Sparks, Fort Stockton, and lastly, Laredo. The U.S. Department of Transportation's Federal Highway Administration is currently reviewing applications, and the grant recipients will be announced later this year. If Tesla secures the grants, they should be able to secure up to $97 million in federal funding to make this project happen. In addition to that, they plan to spend $24 million of their own money. If they don't secure the grants, there's no telling if Tesla would pursue this project anyway or abandon it. We'll just have to wait and see what happens later this year, but I imagine this is a route that makes sense for Tesla regardless of the grants that they receive. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Lucid Motors is facing several recalls affecting 6,360 of their EVs. They were all issued on July 27, 2023, and affect 2022 and 2023 Lucid Air models. Of the 3 separate issues, 2 of them are thankfully just software updates. The third issue is physical but isn't too huge. 5,523 Lucid Air sedans could have loose wiper arm nuts that could impact visibility if the wiper gets stuck. That could, of course, increase the chances of a crash, but that seems unlikely unless you're an easily distracted driver. As usual, the fix is an inspection by Lucid Service, where they'll either fix or replace the part free of charge. Then on 59 Lucid Air EVs, the rear view camera may fail to appear on the display while in reverse. They've already released the over-the-air software update to fix that fast and free. The recall was only issued to encourage these Lucid Air owners to install the latest version of software. Perhaps the most worrisome issue, 778 Air models are experiencing potential power loss issues. They have also already released the update to fix that though. Cadillac has officially unveiled their all-electric Escalade IQ. As we expect, this vehicle is going to be absolutely massive, with a huge battery to give it a long range. It'll come with 200 kilowatt hours of usable energy that should provide up to 450 miles of range and up to 750 horsepower. With 785 pound-feet of torque, it'll have a 0 to 60 under 5 seconds. 800-volt DC fast charging means it should be able to regain up to 100 miles of range in 10 minutes. Of course, that'll be much slower when charging at home. It'll also be able to tow up to 8,000 pounds and come equipped with V2H, Super Cruise, and 4-wheel steering. V2L will be available as an add-on. For all of this, customers can expect to pay around $130,000. We haven't heard anything concerning more affordable trims coming later, but executives have said that the GM brand will have more BEV news very soon. The date for this trim's release hasn't been unveiled either. GM has also teased a new electric coupe. They announced they'll begin rolling out vehicle-to-home capabilities on model years starting in 2024, and mentioned which vehicles will get this tech first. In this video introducing it, they list the Chevy Silverado EV RST, GMC Sierra EV Denali Edition 1, Chevy Blazer EV, Chevy Equinox EV, Cadillac Lyriq, and upcoming Cadillac Escalade IQ. What we didn't expect was for them to mention Ultium-based coupes. At the end of the video, they say by 2026, vehicle-to-home ride-to-home technology will be available in new Ultium-based SUVs, sedans, coupes, hatchbacks, and trucks. Some think this could be referring to the all-electric Corvette that GM's president confirmed last April. He said, quote, "We will offer an electrified and a fully electric Ultium-based Corvette in the future." They've also mentioned a Camaro coupe. Either way, it's clear that GM has a lot of plans for a lot of different types of EVs, and I'm excited to see what this new coupe is going to be. Ford has delayed the launch of their electric Explorer until next summer, which is about 6 months later than expected. They unveiled the EV version of this best-selling SUV in Europe back in March. It's based on Volkswagen's MEB platform, which is the same one used for the ID.4, now a bestseller in Germany. The Explorer will be the first electric vehicle built at their new Cologne EV facility in Germany, which they opened in June. Sales of the Explorer were expected to start in early 2024, but with this delay, that could be pushed as well. As for the cause, they cite new global safety rules for vehicle powertrains, though they don't say specifically what that entails. When it does come out, though, it should start around $49,500 US. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the secret ways to order your Tesla and ways that could save you money, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.